The Model T ignition system is simultaneously simple and enigmatic. The wooden coil boxes with points, one for each spark plug, are one of the key components. I decided to find out if all the hype about coil tuning is justified, or just fake news. Is the double spark phenomenon a real thing? I'm going to drive my car with my self-tuned coils first, then swap in some professionally rebuilt coils that have been electronically tuned and see the difference. The Model T ignition coil is a remarkable thing. These beautiful wooden boxes take an input signal from the timer and turn it into a shower of sparks at each spark plug. These coils can operate with a 6-volt direct current signal from a battery or a noisy 20-volt alternating current signal from the magneto. Conventional wisdom tells us that the coil points need to be carefully gapped and the spring tensions need to be set just right to get a strong single spark at just the right timing delay. There are many different devices for tuning Model T coils. Some people swear by their ears and confidently tune the coils like you would a piano. Others use simple buzz boxes to confirm that the coils will shower sparks when energized. In the early days, a good engine shop would have an ECCT, that's a hand-cranked coil tester, that uses actual Model T magneto to test the coils. With the advent of electronics, smart people have developed highly sophisticated testers to report the characteristics of the coils with LED lights or screens. The most sophisticated and most popular is the ECCT, electronically cranked coil tester. But do these fancy ECCT electronic testers make a noticeable difference, or are they just hype? To test the difference between self-tuned coils and ECCT tuned coils, I'm going to do an idle test, an acceleration test, and top speed tests. I'll run these tests on the same day, on the same road, going the same direction. I'll use my 1926 Model T runabout as the test mule. First I'll test with my self-tuned coils, then with some professionally rebuilt ECCT tuned coils, and then again with my self-tuned coils. I will also do some bench testing of all the coils to ensure that they are all close to one another regarding the basic parameters of current draw, capacitance, and coil resistance. And I'm rigging my car with cameras and microphones so we can hopefully hear and see the differences. I have a microphone under the hood and another near the tailpipe, and I'll be mic'd as well so I can give a little commentary. My good friend Russ has loaned me 4 coils. They're all Ford script coils. He's rebuilt these with new capacitors. He's tested them on a buzz box for current, and he's tuned them on an ECCT, an electronic instrument, to set the points up exactly right. He's loaned these to me to see if they make a difference in my car, because I've only ever driven my car with my own coils that I rebuilt myself, and I only tested them on the buzz box for current. I did not have access to an electronic tester like an ECCT, so I've never tuned my coils with that sophisticated piece of machinery. So he loaned these to me so I could swap them into my car and do a direct comparison between my coils set up by myself without the ECCT and these coils rebuilt and set up by Russ with his ECCT. But before I do that on-road test, I thought I'd better just do some bench testing on these just to see where they stand. So my first test is just my buzz box. I've got it set up here. It's a box I made with the 3 contacts. Can you see that? Bottom and the 2 sides, just so I can easily swap the coils in and out. I've got a little current measuring buzz box here with a spark plug. Hopefully you can see the spark. and a 6-volt power supply. So this first coil, it's a Ford C, Canadian Ford coil. Into the box, and then fire this up. Right around 1.2 amps and a nice bright spark. So I just want to label that. Next one. This is also a Ford script, Ford at the top. That one's right around 1 amp. Third one, Ford script at the top. It's 1.05 amps. And the last of the coils from Russ, also Ford at the top. Ford script at the top, that's what I'm trying to say. That's 1.2 amps. All right. That's it for BuzzBox for now. Let's put the BuzzBox aside. So now let's check the capacitors on these four. They should all be good. So this is a lovely little Arduino capacitance tester that my brother made for me. 7.2 microfarads. 0.5 microfarads. Okay, next one. So you test the capacitance between the two plates with the points held open. Again, 0.5 microfarads, which is exactly correct. .55 microfarads. The last one. 0.5 microfarads. Excellent. All right, so those test good on capacitance and on the BuzzBox for current. Next will be to check the resistance of the coils themselves. To check the resistance of the different coils, we first check A to B points open. Should be open circuit. Open circuit. That's good. Open circuit. Open circuit. Open circuit. Good. So A to B test should be open circuit. It is. I'll pass that test. Next, A to C should be continuity. AC. Good, I'll test AC continuity. All right. Next test. A to E should be 0.295 ohms. There you go, 0.3 ohms. Okay, that's good. Ohms. There you go. 0.3 ohms. And 0.3 ohms. Over there. Okay. Next is B to E. Also 0.3 ohms is the target. B. 0.3. Good. All right, and last resistance test is C to D. And this is supposed to be 3,300 ohms. Three thousand and 3,210. Last one. 3,370. So the 4 coils that Russ has loaned me, so far I've passed all my basic tests. One of them's running a little low on current, but other than that, I think they're really good. Now I'm going to test my coils. These are the ones that I've used all summer. I haven't adjusted them, gapped them, anything. I rebuilt these a year ago with new capacitors. Most of them are Ford script, and they all received new points at that time. So we're going to give them the full barrage of tests again. So I'm going to be using this handy little buzz box that my brother made for me. There's also a box I made just to make it easier to drop the coils in and out. So it's super easy to hook up. We just put this on there. This goes on here. And then we run this wire to spark plug. Power, 6-volt source. So we've done all the basic tests on both the coil set that I've been loaned by my friend Russ and the coil set that I've been running all year. Both meet all the standard tests quite well. So I tested for the capacitor, they're all good. I tested for the resistance in the different coils, they were all pretty good. I tested them all in the buzz box, they all buzz well. Current on one of mine is a little high and one of Russ's is a little low, but otherwise they're good. I haven't checked gaps, I haven't refaced the point contacts, anything like that, but I think these are ready for in-car tests now. I've got the coils installed in the car that I rebuilt myself a year ago that I've been running all summer. I set these up with just a buzz box. I'm going to do a pull now with some moderate acceleration just to see how they perform. There's full throttle. Climbing a hill. Pretty much top speed at 66 kilometers per hour. This pull's going to be on ECCT coils, the ones that my friend loaned me. See how they perform. Full throttle. Like top speed was 67 kilometers per hour. I'm going to shut it off and put my old original buzzbox coils back in and do one more test again just to confirm the difference back to back. This is a retest with the box tuned coils. I want to do a performance poll just so we can compare directly back to back with the ECCT coils again. There's full throttle. I couldn't notice any difference in the car's performance between the ECCT tuned coils and my self-tuned coils. This was curious because I was expecting that there would be a noticeable difference. So I met up with Russ, who loaned me the coils, and we spent a little time testing my self-tuned coils on his ECCT to see how they measure up. Here's an edited film of my conversations with Russ as we tested the coils. All right, so if you don't mind, we'll test all 4 of your rebuilt coils.
Okay.
And see what we get, and then we'll test the 4 that I rebuilt myself. Yep. And see what the differences are. So what do we do the coil dwell and the multi-spark on each of them?
Sure.
So that's really close to top dead center. Yep. Single spark. Yep.
Now, what I don't like about this one is it's
drifting a bit.
It's drifting a bit, yeah.
Yeah, and it's confirmed in the multi-spark as well.
But it's
right around
the
top dead center. Okay. That one's perfection.
Test.
Better. A little bit of drift.
Yep.
Just in the one direction. Oh, that one was.
That one's really scattered, but
Let's see.
Now, if it comes up good, that means 85% of all things.
Mm-hmm.
See, this one's changed. Okay, so that says to pry up. Do we want to?
That's up to you. They're your coils.
Well, they're my coils, and what I can do is show you.
Yeah, that's better. Yep.
Okay. So
Cool.
it didn't take much.
Yep. That one's really good as well.
Okay.
All right. So we know that those ran well in my car,
Yep.
and they test very well on the ECCT. Now these are the coils that I rebuilt myself a year ago, only using buzz box and gapping the rivet, gapping the points, and just making sure they all run about the same current on the buzz box and sound about the same. For a second, this still on, right? Don't get your fingers in the wrong place, Stephen.
Yep. So that's about 1.5, 1.6, somewhere in there.
Yeah, on my machine it registered 1.2. It's interesting how see, that's the one that's drawing current. You can hear how it's a higher pitch.
Yeah.
So that one definitely has drifted from when I first set it up a long time ago. Ah, you're right. That's a very different sound, yet it's still. Yeah.
Now, is that the one with the gap that looks like it's closed up on it?
No, it's got
No,
a big gap.
you got lots of gap there.
That's another normal sounding one, in my opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, 1.2 amps when I tested it.
Yeah, and that's what it looked like.
That's the one with the tiny gap, though, I think.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, well, let's see what the ECCT says. So, first two I'll put on there are the ones that tested perfectly normal on the buzz box, sounded normal, and we'll see what the ECCT says about them. This is a really nice machine, this ECCT. I like the way it works.
It's pretty simple.
That one's very good. Yeah, so that tests really well, just like one of yours.
Yep.
By whatever miracle.
Now, the thing I didn't like about the EECT, and I thought, if we can get together maybe this winter, and I'll bring these two plus the old wind-up.
Oh, the HCCT, yeah, that'd be really cool.
The hand crank.
Yeah.
But the one thing is with this, it doesn't tell you, it only tells you timing. It doesn't tell you whether you've gone damn near off of the scale.
Yeah.
And if you're, according to some of the guys out of the US, part of the reason for trying to keep in that window is so that you don't build up too much heat and burn out your coil. So being up like 1.6, 1.8, 2, stuff like that, then you're having a chance of burning out the coil, yet that's possibly where that would want you to set it.
I would think the higher current will be hard on the points too. Your arc is going to be a lot more violent. But I wonder if it gives you a hotter spark though, which might be.
Maybe. Now what I found is when I had what I thought was too high an amperage output, if I played with the top plate, the pressure, then I could back it down and bring it into that. And I'll, if it gets 1.5, okay,
Agreed. And that's when I set these up myself without the advantage of the ECCT, and all I had was the buzz box. So I'd mess around with them until I got the current right, and I usually found that they sounded pretty normal then. And as long as the gapping was right and the current was right, that's all I could do. Oops.
Now,
right past it. There you
go. One of them was on one of the occasions. Oh, this is the one that probably was showing excellent. Because one of yours was good, one of yours was excellent.
This is exactly the same as that first one we tested. Very good, not perfect. Now these two sounded funny and had not the best current. Yeah, This one's really advanced.
Okay, so you got two lights.
Yeah.
So this is double sparking.
Double sparking and advanced. Yep, super advanced. And this is the one I think we saw was the point gap wasn't very good. That one's lousy. This one. Did I get that right? Is this side advanced and this side is retard? Doesn't say minus. I think probably that backwards. That previous one was way over here in the minus. Yeah, that should be advanced.
No, that's timing error. So it's negative. So it's behind when it should be.
So that would be...
So would that be firing too early?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to find out. Interesting. But we definitely, these two swing opposite directions. Yeah. Yeah. So two of my self-tuned coils tested excellent on the ECCT with good timing and no double sparks. A third tested very advanced in timing and was double sparking. And the fourth tested with delayed single spark. But interestingly, the car ran just fine with these. Maybe an old, worn-out engine with low compression, cast iron pistons, and a low top RPM like my car isn't as sensitive to the poorly tuned coils. Maybe a tight, high-revving engine with high compression would be more sensitive. Tell me what you think in the comments. The main adjusting nut had clearly loosened on at least one of my coils, likely leading to part of the problem. An amateur mistake on my part. I'll always use a lock nut from now on. There is no appreciable difference between the performance of my self-tuned coils and the ECCT electronically tuned coils in this back-to-back test. Here's a brief edit of the self-tuned coils and the ECCT coils running on the same road at the same speed in the same direction on the same day. I sure can't notice a difference, can you? Somehow I managed to tune my coils very well, just using a buzz box and setting the coil points to the recommended gap. Maybe I just got lucky? One data point is certainly not statistically significant. I suppose I have shown that you can tune coils quite well without an ECCT, but I'm sure that using an ECCT would make it easier to properly tune the coils and give you more confidence in your tuning as well. I guess I'll just have to drive my car more and do more testing.